Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And so for this video I wanted to work on my week 2 December daily pages. So I actually have not opened this book up since last week, so I don't have anything here for the second week of December. I did prep some of the pages, but other than that I don't have anything documented for week 2. And so that's what I wanted to do now. I figured I'm going to work in it, might as well share the process of working in it. I think I'm going to do maybe about 3 or 4 spreads here in this book. And so I'm going to work on the first one here, which I've already prepped with a cut file and some paint and ink, as you can see. And I am going to print off a photo of a movie that I just watched, or that I watched this week. And I have here my little Canon Ivy. I think it has photo paper in it. I don't know, but I need to get the app and do all the app stuff. I have to hook up to this thing, right? I forget how to choose the printer. Let me see. You can tell that I obviously don't use this very often. There we go. Canon mini printer. Let's see how long it takes that to connect, because I want to print out. Is it even on? There it goes. There it goes. And so the movie that I saw, okay, was Snowpiercer. And I did save I believe I saved a, what you call it, the movie poster for it. And now just to find it, there it goes. So this is what I want to print out, and I just want to print this photo. Let's see if that works. Yep, just like that. Print. You can obviously tell that I don't use this printer at all. There it goes. Okay, it does. I'm just like, I hope it has paper in it, but I don't know. But, yeah. I didn't do anything to edit this photo. I'm hoping it prints out okay. It's literally just the movie poster for the movie. Yeah. Cool. That's my little photo that I'm going to use now. And so, yeah, I watched this movie. It's been on my Netflix queue for a while, and I just never got around to watching it, and something told me one night just to watch it. And so it's a Chris Evans movie that's been on my list. And so I think that's what this page is going to be documenting about. Because the movie's about, like, it's like, I guess, a post-apocalyptic sort of thing. There's a bunch of people, the only survivors of Earth live on this train, and literally the entire Earth is covered in snow and kind of like an ice age sort of thing. And the train circles the entire Earth, like globe. It's weird. It's a very weird movie, but yeah, so I'm just gonna probably just build up a cluster here like I normally would. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. So I really wasn't going to do a voiceover for this, but I figured I should give my spreads here a little bit of context. So this one I am doing the Snowpiercer page, and what I really love about this Canon Ivy printer is that it prints out these little small photos that are printed on like a sticky back photo paper. And so all I did here was peel it off and just kind of matted it on that piece of pattern paper. And right now I'm just kind of building up my little photo cluster to go on the left hand page, because I have that, it's like half of a die cut or cut file, really. I think it's I want to say it's a Paige Evans cut file. If it's not Paige Evans, it is Hip Kit Club cut file. I will definitely look that up and see. The Hip Kit Club cut files, you just have to be a member on their site and you can access all of them for free. So I would definitely leave that in the description if you're interested in that. But it's just, it was supposed to be like a snowflake wreath, but I cut it in half. And I did a bit of mixed media. There's a lot of white paint and ink on top of that as well. And so I really want my photo cluster to go on the left-hand side. So I'm just playing with some braiding strips here. These are all the braiding strips from the papers that I used. And that left-hand paper is from Snow and Cocoa, and it has like the, stripes. And so I figured, I can layer up some of the snowflake braiding strips, so I have some of the snowflake patterns in there too. So I did that, and my little cluster is going down here. And really, this is how I just make every layout. I think I make a little photo cluster, it goes down, and then I embellish around it. So right now I'm picking out a bunch of snowflakes, and they're a mixture from Snow and Cocoa and the Snowflake collection. And I ended up using these from Snow and Cocoa, which I cut in half. And I think I used the other half on a different spread. But yeah, I wanted to use the snowflakes because the movie is about snow. Well, it's not really about snow, but it's called Snowpiercer because that's what the train is called, a Snowpiercer, and the entire earth is covered in snow, and it's just snowflakes. It was fitting. So right now I'm just kind of embellishing everything. I end up pulling out a puffy snowflake and putting it down, and then I'm spelling out movie time in these Pink Fresh Studio puffy alphas, which for some reason lost their sticky. They lost their stick. I don't know how, but they did. I guess over time things just kind of lose the adhesive on the back. So what I ended up doing here was taking that branding strip. It's like a dark blue, like polka dots. It's actually the page. It's the same pattern paper from the right-hand pattern paper, but I softened the blue color up with some paint, but it's the same pattern. And so what I'm doing here is just putting the letters to spell out movie time on this branding strip, and then using my Hyde swap stapler to staple the letters on. And I'm struggling here because literally they had no stick, and so I was trying to line them up the best I can so that I can staple them in place so that they'll stay. And so I ended up turning that little branding strip into a banner, and so I was just kind of cutting out some flags and on both sides, making sure that it fit there. And I'm just putting it down with some double-sided tape. And I think that was it for that one. I actually do end up going back and journaling in I used a white Posca paint marker to do my journaling on that blue mixed media page. So this is the second spread. For this one, I wanted to use that selfie photo of myself that I had posted on Instagram that week, and all I did was literally just copy out my Instagram post, like the caption, and print it out really small on just regular copy paper, and that's just gonna sit where the journaling is supposed to be. But I really wanted to get that photo in, mostly for the caption, because it kind of encompassed my week or what I was thinking, and so I wanted that to be in my December daily. And so I am just cutting down that photo. I had it printed out already. I always keep a bunch of photos printed, for the most part, I get my photos printed from the Free Prints app. I will definitely leave a link to that down below. You can, I think it's like 90 free prints or 85 free prints that you can get, and the prints are 4x6 prints. And so usually I do like a collage on Photoshop, or I'll just do like an Instagram photo in the middle and have a border around it, so it's not quite 4x4. It's usually like 3.5 by 3.5 or 3x3, and I just get my photos printed that way. All you have to do is pay for shipping, which I think is great, and I really like the photo quality of the free prints. They usually, the ones that I've gotten have been printed on Fujifilm paper or Kodak paper, and like the premium paper, photo paper, and it's like amazing, considering that it's like free. Well, you have to pay shipping, but it's free. The prints themselves are free, and so they've been really good quality. I normally would get, like, these are glossy finish, but I recently got some pictures for a project that were matte finish, and oh my god, the matte finish, that's like my new favorite. So moving forward, whenever I get my free prints from Free Prints, I'm gonna do a matte finish because it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous print. I can't even explain it. Like, it has like a slight like texture, and they were just really beautiful prints. And so yeah, I would leave a link down below to Free Prints, but I always have a little envelope full of prints that I get that I'd never used, and this was one of them, so I decided to just use it here. That's why it's a little big. It's like, I think it's like about 3.5 by 3.5, so it's a little big. We have to cut it down. So I did my cluster, and now I am doing some ink splatters with this Liquitex acrylic ink in white. It's like my favorite. This bottle is almost over, but I have another bottle ready when this one like finishes. It's my favorite ink to use, and I realized that I should have actually did the ink splatters first and then build my clusters, because now I have to wait for the ink to dry. And so I just kind of took my clusters, you know, off the page, and I used the snowflakes from the Snowpiercer spread for going behind my journaling here, and so that's the cluster that I'm kind of building up right now and like putting together. Normally I would put it together right on the page, but of course the page is wet and I need to let that dry before I stick anything down, so I'm doing it off the page, which is fine. It gives it time to dry. And you saw there, I almost did the wrong side. I actually printed out the journaling much smaller than I wanted to, and so I just reprinted it on the other side of the paper, just not to waste the paper. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing here, and I'm using those snowflakes again, just to kind of like accent the side there. And of course, when I put things down, I always cover up most of the splatters, but I think that's what we all do, right? I'm now putting everything down. I'm playing with what I need to put there to layer up on top of the photo. I'm gonna use this Hello piece. I believe it is like a rubber piece from an old, I want to say Amy, I think it's Amy Tangerine collection. I don't know what collection it is, but I know it's an older piece because when I peel it off of the backing, the adhesive just doesn't stick on the Hello part at all. So you'll see that I ended up using the stapler to staple it down, and then I used a little bit of glue to glue some of it in place. But yeah, the longer you have certain embellishments, sometimes the adhesive just doesn't stick. So now I'm trying to figure out what to put on this side. I know there needs to be something there, layered up between those two snowflakes. So I'm just kind of fiddling with all the puffy stickers that I have. I ended up putting that Evalicious sticker, it's like a camera banner, on the other side, and now I'm using some Felicity Jane puffy stars on the other side because they kind of look like snowflakes, you know, stars. I actually do end up pulling out the snowflake 6x12 sticker sheet, and I grabbed like a black and white snowflake because that paper that my photo is on some it's like a black and white snowflake patterned paper from that Crepe Paper Snowflake collection, and the 6x12 sticker sheet has some of those stickers of just the snowflakes, the black and white snowflakes. So I take one out here, and I think I cut it in half and just use half of it to stick out of the page, and I end up using the other half on a different spread in this video. So that is this spread here. It's pretty much done. I'm still looking at stickers, but it's basically finished. So here is where I go back to do my journaling on that page there with when I'm talking about the Snowpiercer, the movie. And I have terrible luck with these, you know, paint pens. I think they're both paint pens. They're white paint pens. The Posca paint pen actually end up working better, but I really do need to get like a white gel pen for this sort of journaling. I always have bad luck with white gel pens. They never run correctly. They always skip and everything, but I should try again using them because I really needed one for this page here. But the Posca paint pen did okay, even though it kind of dries a little bit faint, so it sort of blends in with that page, but it's completely fine as long as the journaling is there. So for this third spread, I actually ended up doing an art journal page, and I was inspired by the recent videos that I had to catch up on for Cassia's advent calendar, and just watching her process working through her little December book and doing her art journal spreads, you know, it inspires you to sit down and play with paint and stuff. So I took out my paints for this, and I'm all about white. Like this whole entire journal here is like very whitewashed. It's like that's how it is, and so I whitewashed that paper there. I think it's, I don't even know what paper that is. I want to say it's an Echo Park paper, but it has like, it's like this mint with silver polka dots on it. And so, yeah, so I whitewashed it, and then I'm using like just random scraps of paper that I have that I've been using in this little book, and I just ripped them apart and gluing them down. I also glued down some of this white tissue paper, which in hindsight I didn't really need to because the white blends in with the white. I mean, it gives the page a little bit of texture, but I ended up painting over it anyway, so yeah. So more white paint because everything needs to be a little frosty, I guess you can say. And now I'm taking out some colored paints. I took out Beach Glass, the Martha Stewart color, and then I took out this other color. I think it's called Cloud. No, I think it might be Cloud. Also Martha Stewart paint. I don't know actually. I always peel off the labels of my paints, and maybe like a month or so ago, I bought a bunch of other paints from Michael's, and I also peeled off the labels, but I made sure to make little labels to put on the bottom of the bottles, just so I know what colors they are. And so I had to go back and like hunt down the names of some of the Martha Stewart paint colors, because some of them I remembered and some of them I didn't, so I had to like do my best guessing so I can write down the names on the bottoms of the bottles. I just like seeing the colors through the bottles instead of seeing like the label, so it's more of a aesthetic thing for me, I guess. But yeah, so I just kind of put down some paint, and then I of course whitewashed. I just wanted to see like hints of the color through the white. So here I'm trying to figure out what I can do on this page, because I really go into my art journaling pages and have no idea what I want to make from it. So I have all these little trees that I cut out for like a different December daily when I was using the Snow and Cocoa collection. Of course I saved them. So I'm taking some of that paper and fussy cutting out some more of those trees, because I want to line them up on the bottom there. And I'm not going to show you the entire process of me cutting trees out because that'll take forever, because I had to fussy cut a lot of little trees out. But I make sure to fussy cut enough that I have enough of them to line the bottom of the page there. Basically making a little pastel forest. That's what I really wanted to do on this page here. So now I'm trying to position all of them so that they all fit. And I ended up like scooting some of them like a little bit higher up just to create some sort of depth, like a little forest. And now I'm proceeding to glue all of them down. And I'm using this glue. I really need to find a glue that works. My favorite glue stick to use is the Prima planner pens, but I believe Prima discontinued those, which is unfortunate because I loved the glue on that glue pen. It's like the best glue. It was the best glue stick, basically. It was an amazing glue stick, and can't find them anymore. And so I have like maybe 5 of them left from when I initially bought a bunch, and I'm hoarding them because they are my favorite, and I'm probably just going to use them when I travel, just to throw into a bag. So I just bought this glue stick from Michael's, or a pack of those glue sticks. It's the Elmer's, like the photo glue, but I don't like it. It's not as good as the Prima pens, and so I've been looking for a glue stick that is on par with that glue. And I really liked the, oh my god, I think it's by Ranger, but I think it was the Diane Wakely. It's either Diane Wakely or what is it? Is it Diane? Dina Wakely and Diane Reevely. It's one of them. It's one of their glue sticks, but they came in like really mini size, like a mini size, and I'm wondering if there's like a bigger size of that glue stick, because that glue stick was pretty good. But yeah, I need to find me a better glue because this one just is not cutting it. So here I took out some, it's like, it says Wonderland, and it was on the Cocoa, the Snow and Cocoa sticker sheet, the 6x12 sheet, and I kind of centered it on the page there. Now I took out a charcoal pencil that I use from time to time, and I'm making just little squigglies on the top because I didn't know how to fill up the page, and so just random little squigglies gives it some whimsical character, I guess. And I'm dabbing it, but I ended up smudging a lot of the charcoal pencil because I forgot that it was charcoal pencil, and charcoal tends to smudge when you touch it. So I'm just going back in with some paint, some white paint really, mostly just to soften up those like kind of black smudges that are all over the page, and just to fill up spots of things where I think the paint should be a little bit, I guess, more opaque. At some point, I actually do go over those trees a little bit with some more white paint, just to give it like that frosty feel, so that it looked like maybe the snow fell onto the trees. And you'll see what I mean when I start painting over them a little bit. You can see I'm starting to paint over the bottoms a little bit, but I end up doing some of the top parts too. It just looks like, you know, the frost was building up on the trees. So that was that spread, my little art journal spread here. This one, I wanted to use that photo that I have of my journals stacked on top of each other. It's a photograph that I took this year, and it was Forget Messy, I believe. I think it was like, I don't even know what season it was. It might have been the season of Habit. I have no idea. But the prompt was to pull out your favorite journal spreads that you've created and take a photo of them. So I took the photo of them and stacked them up like that, and then look to see what they all have in common and create a journal page without any of those elements that you used on those pages. So these were the pages that I pulled out, and I really liked the photograph that I ended up taking of it. So I wanted to document that in here, not about like why I took the photo, the prompt, or anything, but this year was a year of journaling for me. I didn't really scrapbook at all. I made maybe like a not even a handful of layouts. I made like maybe 3 layouts this year, and I didn't do any sort of memory keeping thing throughout the year at all. I just didn't scrapbook. I mean, this is sort of scrapbooking. This is like a mixture of scrapbooking and art journaling, but like just full on scrapbooking. How I documented my year was through journaling. I did a lot of art journaling. I kept a journal where I actually wrote out stuff, actual journaling. Because I know we all say journaling and it ends up being more of the art part than the writing part, but I actually kept a nice balance between the art part and the writing part of a journal. And so I wanted to use this photo to document the year of the journals, or the year of me journaling and just writing down my story in more of a journal format instead of a scrapbook. And one of my intentions for next year, I actually haven't sat down and really thought through them, but I think one of my intentions is to start up a kind of scrapbooking, memory keeping process, because I actually do miss having, those everyday photographs documented somehow. That's what that little envelope of photographs that I have, those are just the everyday, kind of mundane, same old photographs that I never use. So I've been using them in other projects kind of out of context. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing here. I made a nice little cluster like I always do. And then I took out that Freckled Fawn foam sticker. It says amazing. And I put it on top of my photo. And I'm using these word strips from Maggie Holmes crepe paper line, and the sheet that I had was a miscut, so I have to paper piece the pieces together and put them together on the page, which is fine. I'm using it up. I don't mind that they're kind of have a cut through them because they were miscut, but I just ended up cutting them myself and just kind of making sure everything lines up. And so I did a little bit of mixed media. I used that ink again, the white acrylic ink, and I'm trying to make a little cluster on this left-hand side, using that piece so I can write, so I can do a little bit of journaling and just say what this photograph represents in this book. And I was struggling not to cover up those splatters because everything was so big. The snowflake collection, all the ephemera pieces are on the larger side, and so I was trying really hard not to cover a lot of those paint splatters up. So I think what I ended up doing is I really wanted to use that little frame piece, but I end up, I think, switching it out for a different writing spot. I do end up using that little girl sticker from the 6x12 sticker sheet, and I took out a foam heart sticker from the same Freckled Fawn pack that I used the Amazing from, just to have that white foam piece repeated on that other side. And now I'm looking for something else to kind of tuck next to the girl. I end up using that sticker, that little half sticker of the snowflake that I used on one of the previous spreads there. And I think this is where I switch out that little writing piece for this other one from the snowflake line. This one has a little bit of a copper foiling on it, and so you'll see I glue everything down. That's what I want to use for my cluster, but I end up going back to the 6x12 snowflake sticker sheet and getting some of those copper stars just to accent the page even more. It's really just to balance out the copper in the little writing frame there. So I just kind of scattered them about. And now I'm looking through those little Maggie Home strips. I think it was from the Carousel collection, I want to say. Or Chasing Dreams, maybe. But you'll see, like, I have to make sure that they're lined up correctly. And here I just do a little bit of journaling about me journaling the year, you know, just with my year of journaling, just to have that there. And I believe that is that spread as well. So I really hope you enjoyed this process video and this look at my week 2 December daily pages. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!